got to the hospital and they assessed me, and then they needed me to come to the Royal Airlift because I'm considered high-risk pregnancy, and I've already had 4 previously preterm babies.
So what hospital did you make it to?
I made it to Bonnyville Hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
And what was it? So you've had 4 previous preterm pregnancies, but what happened on that day that made you think I'm going into labor? Like, were you experiencing contractions, or what were you doing, and what happened?
I was experiencing contractions, and I was experiencing, they're called push-type contractions, which is kind of the later stages of delivery. And I have a cerclage stitch, so that is a lot of higher risk because the stitch could tear, and because living in a like an isolated community, and services needed to be accessed. I was saying that I have a history of quick labors, so the shortest one was 20 minutes.
From extreme contractions to the baby coming out?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So when I called the ambulance, I told them the situation. They told me what to do. I told them that I had a cerclage, that's what it's called, and they came and got me. And then I left. And then when I got to the hospital, I was still having my push-like contractions. And then they assessed me, and they needed for me to be here in the hospital. And they were working out their arrangements. And ground ambulance was at a standstill, and air ambulance was at a standstill. And they said because of the winds that there's a possibility that we might have to keep you here. So I was preparing myself for what could happen, because anything could happen in delivery. So they were nice enough to work with all the people that they needed to work with to get me safely here. So when they told me that that they had a military helicopter arrive me in, I started to breathe better because it's a little bit nerve-wracking to have a premature baby delivered. I've been through it already, like I said, and when the doctor came to see me, he knew that it would look like I was going to deliver because of the fact that I was sweating. I was having a push-like contraction, and he sat by the bedside to wait till my contraction left, and then he said, "Yeah, it's like it's going to happen." So, and I'm very grateful that the baby's still, inside my stomach, because hopefully we can continue as far as we can. Because a little speech I wrote. I just wanted to say, in my story, I hope you find that against all odds, that anything is possible, and that having the faith that God brings right people in life to help when you need, you just gotta believe. I would like to thank, from my heart, the following: the military pilots, the military, and the use of their military helicopter. I'd like to thank the doctor in Bonnyville on call at the maternity ward who escorted me on the helicopter. I also like to thank the Bonnyville paramedic who worked 22 years in her service, and that was her first military helicopter ride. I'd like to thank the Bonnyville ambulance that came and got me at my community. And last but not least, I would love to thank the Royal Alexander Hospital, Dr. Daniel Hodges, the nurses, and the care and the well-being of my unborn child.